Hello, it's Katie from Kit Kat Yoga. I just wanted to share with you one of my little routines that I found to be really useful. I was just thinking, I'm off on my walk at the moment, and so I talk a lot about like routine and how important it is, but there's a caveat to that. Our intention is that we are constantly rewiring our brains, right? So if we're trying to break patterns and pathways in our brains around anxiety, depression, it's how I always like to describe it, like if you walked through a woodland path, which is what I'm currently doing. If you walk through the same path constantly, the grass can't grow there anymore. And what we do in our brains when we get these patterns of anxiety and depression is that we've gone over these pathways in our brains over and over and over again, that they're really set, they're really dug in. So part of the process is about rewiring our brain. It's about taking a different path, doing different things, breaking up the routines. So there's somewhere in the middle. It sounds contradictory that I talk about routines a lot, but there is somewhere in the middle where changing a little bit about your routines can help you to keep rewiring your brain. It's called neuroplasticity, and it's making your brain allow to keep changing and rewiring. It's such a falsity to think that, you know, that whole you can't teach an old dog new tricks. It's not true. You can, but it's like any muscle really. You've got to exercise it. And so one of the things I picked up along the way is that I go for a walk every day. That I did this before. It's very rare that I don't go out for a walk. And every day I try and walk a different route. Now that is limiting in the fact that currently, I live in a village. There's only a few places around here that I can walk. It was even more challenging when I was in Brighton, actually, because there's certain places that you can walk from your house. You have to go those routes. So what I try and do every time is go somewhere slightly different. And even if it's just, oh, that was definitely a fly in my ear. Even if it's just a slightly different route. So like today I've gone a backwards route around through some woodland into the golf course. It's a route I wouldn't normally go. I am going through bits of my walk that I've been before, but it is different. And I thought it was something that I started doing, and I have done now for quite a while, because I have to pay attention. So if you think about this concept of being mindful, being in the present moment, I have to pay attention to where I'm going. I got lost the other day as nothing more than bringing you into the present moment, being lost in woodlands without your phone. So I had to really concentrate on what I was doing, not panic, not freak out. All I had to do was turn around and follow the path back. But when you're walking the same route that you normally walk, if you're doing the same things every day that you always do, you'll do them and you'll be thinking about other things. You're not present, you're not in the moment. And it's the same with parts of your routine. If you always brush your teeth and then do this, if you always do things in a certain order, what happens if you change it slightly? What happens if you, brush your teeth with your left hand instead of your right hand? Like, what are the little things that you can do to help you just stay a little bit more connected to what you're doing, a little bit more mindful? So I wanted to share this with you because as I was going on my walk, going a slightly different route but not completely different, I remembered why I do it and why it's important. So although it sounds contradictory to everything else I've ever said about routines, there's somewhere in the middle about being able to stay present, and I think that's in the slightly changing things. And that will help you to exercise that whole idea of neuroplasticity and being able to rewire your brain and repattern to get rid of the patterns and the habits that maybe aren't serving you anymore. A big part of the process of me eventually not having panic attacks, me eventually being able to manage anxiety and not feel overwhelmed constantly by the smallest things. So I invite you to try it. Notice all the things you do on autopilot, all the things that, the walks, we're all going out for walks at the moment, if you're able to. So notice where you have just a default. You go outside your door and you turn left. Can you turn right? Pay attention, see what it's like. And I hope you have a lovely week.